Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing a movie review. This movie is a horror film from the United States, English language, released in the year 2013, directed by Yusuf Dallara and Victor Terran, and this film is called Enter the Dangerous Mind. So Enter the Dangerous Mind is about a guy who is mentally ill. He's very socially awkward and he doesn't know how to really connect with anybody. And the way he lives his life, he makes dubsteps in the techno music scene, and he has a strong following online. So this is where his pride and joy is. But he also wants to have a better half, basically someone to share his life with. And he believes that his shot at happiness has arrived when he comes across this woman that he likes, and he ends up working up the courage to ask her out. She says yes, they have their date, and things go very awkwardly wrong. And so the next day he comes up to her again, says, look, I'm sorry, here's a mixtape that I made for you. And she says, sorry, I just want to be friends, and that he needs help, and that until he can get his thoughts together, that they should just remain as friends. And he doesn't take this very well. He basically abuses her, and this is where his deterioration starts as he goes down a very dark passage of mental illness that is ultimately going to have a chain effect of devastating consequences that is going to put everybody's life in the balance. So what happens at that point on, something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Enter the Dangerous Mind. This is a very harrowing film, not only for this fact that it is very, very brutal in what it does, and there's a home invasion scene in this film that is going to rival any other home invasion scene that you will ever see, but it also is a commentary about how harsh society is, and that how society has to take responsibility for the actions of these mentally damaged people. Now what I mean by that is that, yes, the mentally damaged people have a responsibility of their own, in that if you do something horrible, it's not solely the blame of society. But what the scary thing about this film is that a lot of these people choose to go undiagnosed and go without help. They're not on medication because of the fact of the stigma behind mental illness, and that they're worried about how society is going to label them as freaks and you're outsiders, and they don't want that, so they choose to suffer in silence, and these situations can occur as a result of that. And so while you can say that this person is a freak, that this person is an outsider, at the same stage the society has to take responsibility, and society is to blame for these sorts of things, is because of a lack of understanding, and the ignorance is the true evil in this whole situation. And this movie really spirals out of control, and it does show you what the devastating consequences as a result of this can be. And so I just thought it was incredibly harrowing. It's a movie that's going to make you think, and I thought it was a movie that really handled the situation very well, a lot better than a lot of other movies out there. In a lot of other movies, it gives you the insight into a deranged person, and that this person is evil, and that we name them, we shame them, they're dead, and that you don't have to worry about them. But until you get to the root of the problem, you're not really going to understand it. And I think the movie does allow you to try and get to the root of the problem, and try and give you an insight into attitudes of people who don't understand what this guy's going through. So case in point, there are a few scenes where they are discussing mental illness. In a scene in a classroom, this woman says, these people are no different from you and me. This is an illness. This is just like having cancer. It's cancer of the mind, and that they're not freaks, they just need help. But then the other guy says, yes, they are freaks, just lock them up and you'll be done with it. And I thought that showed the ignorance, as opposed to some people out there who really get it. And so unfortunately that ignorant response was a response that a lot of other people have. And so there's another occurrence where you've got this ex-doctor who kept saying, let's just lock him up, he's beyond help. And this woman was saying, no, he isn't beyond help. He can get better if he has the right medication, if he has the right care. And so there's always that conflicting sort of opinion of when it comes to mental illness, and it shows you how gravely misunderstood it is, and that there are real sufferers out there who are like this main character, and there are tragedies that happen in this film that happen in real life as a result of that stigma. And so I thought the movie could have easily just gone down a psychopathic route, hit you with a lot of gratuitous violence, but it doesn't do that, and that's what I appreciated the most about Enter the Dangerous Mind. Now, on a technical value, it is very well made. The vivid colouring, it reminded me of the Maniac remake with Elijah Wood. I just thought it had a lot of attention to detail. I thought the dubstep soundtrack, I don't like techno music, but I thought it really suited the mentality of this guy. Very static noises, and you could sense that something was off straight from the start. You knew this guy was a little bit off, and I thought the soundtrack really added more emotion to what this guy was going through, and it really suited each and every scene. So the directors really had a keen eye and a keen ear for the music, and how the music would basically get into the mood of the film and help create the atmosphere. It's just a very uneasy, very disorientating atmosphere that the movie has, and I thought the soundtrack played a major role in that. I thought the acting was very good, especially from that main character. I thought the chemistry between this main character and this female, the love interest, I thought that was a very awkward love interest, but it was also a tragedy as well. It was a tragic love story, and that guy has finally found the shot at happiness, but because of his traumatic past, all these memories are being, resurfacing, and you sense that his illness is really getting in the way, but he wants a shot at happiness, and that gains a lot of curiosity into this character, and it gains a lot of sympathetic quality. So it's not kind of demonizing this guy for having a mental illness. It's showing you this guy is capable of horrific things, but he's a result of the circumstances. He's a result of the harsh realities that come as about of this particular topic. So it's a very thought-provoking topic. It's a very controversial topic, and I think these directors really understood what it was all about. So the violence is extremely hard-hitting. As I said, there is a scene where it's a home invasion that is incredibly harrowing. The violence, I really appreciate the fact that it wasn't over the top in the violence, but it hits you very, very hard. And so fans of extreme cinema are going to really like the way that this violence transpires. And I just thought that that scene in particular will stay in the memory for a very long time. So overall, it's a deeply psychologically unnerving film, and on that you've got very high impact and very harrowing violence that will just hit home how important it is to really get to the root of these problems as far as mental illness is concerned, and to stop it from blowing out of proportions like it does in this film. So right at the end, I had a little bit of a problem. I thought it was a little bit of a cop-out towards the end, right at the end. I thought it could have ended a little bit better, and it didn't really fit the mood that the rest of the film had. But having said that, that is only a minor criticism in what was a very memorable film. It is a very, very harrowing film. It's a very hard film to watch, but it is definitely a movie I would recommend to anyone out there who is not afraid to tackle controversial topics and who is not faint of heart. So overall, for Enter the Dangerous Mind, going to give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Go out there and see it. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.